Is anybody there? Nobody better be fucking with me. Probably just my imagination. Really funny, guys. Really funny. Gotta be fucking kidding me. Of course, you guys know that I don't like Christmas. So of course you're gonna put red and green lights in my fucking apartment. Of course you are. You gotta be fucking kidding me, man. Fucking pricks. Come on out. Where are ya? Don't hide now. It's all funny. All funny and everything. Oh, where are you? Oh, you gotta be hiding somewhere. Maybe you're hiding right in the shower, huh? Where the hell are you? Come on out. It's not funny anymore. Maybe you're under the bed. Okay, guys, this ain't funny anymore. Stop fucking with me. Where the hell are you? Hello? Anybody there? Hope you guys aren't fucking with me. I really hope you're not. Seth? Seth, are you in there? Seth? I can't hear you. Fuck it. I'm just gonna go in.
Seth, I got your present here. Seth. Seth, where are you? Present. Seth. Seth. Got your present.
Oh my God! Oh! Oh, man. Woo! Dude, these horror movies, man. I gotta get off this horror movie train, because, man, I am thinking everybody's out to kill me, everybody's out to get me, people are out to stab my ass. Whew. I'm glad I'm Jewish. It pays to be Jewish here. Glad I'm not getting any Christmas killers on my ass anytime soon, guys. Definitely thankful for that one. Welcome, everybody, to a brand new movie review where me, myself, and I talk about Black Christmas 2019. And I did ask a lot of the guys whether they actually did want to see this movie, and nobody wanted to see it with me. Literally, nobody did. But I still wanted to check it out, and the reason why I did want to check it out, guys, is because I have been a fan of the Black Christmas, films, or at least the first Black Christmas movie. The first Black Christmas film, which, out of all of my collection, of course I have Black Christmas. Black Christmas, 1974, if I am not mistaken, guys. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think this is a really honest, great slasher holiday movie. I really honestly think it is. And, it's very fascinating because, I've seen a lot of articles and I've seen videos before of people saying, well, Halloween, the 1978 movie, is the movie that really, invented what we consider the modern day slasher. However, I tend to argue with people about that, and I put Black Christmas ahead of Halloween because number one, it came out in 1974. It came out 4 years before the first Halloween did. It shows sort of a slasher. It shows somebody in the shadows stalking women and stalking people and killing them in the shadows. I Another argument could be made, obviously, that Psycho is the one that really invented it, but that's a discussion for another day, guys. But to me, Black Christmas is the one that really, I think, started down that path of where Halloween and Friday the 13th and many others went to after that. But it's such a really great movie, and it's one that I don't think many people really gravitate towards, really. I mean, I have a bunch of friends who's never even seen the movie. And, I've sort of shown them clips and everything of like the phone calls that Billy does. And they always say to me, "Oh my God, these are really creepy and they're unsettling." And oh, this seems really just sort of just a very, uh, very unsettling and unrelenting type of movie, and it really honestly is. And it's so much better than I think people give it credit for. And I think the reason why is because it was in the 70s, and I don't think a lot of people really go back and watch the old school classics as I think they really should. But honestly, Black Christmas is one that definitely should be revisited because I really think it's way better than I think a lot of people either A, remember it, or some people don't even want to give a chance to. So I do think it's well worth checking out, guys. But 1974, and it really was such a really great movie. The killer, I think the phone calls, I think the women here, Olivia Hussey was in it and did an amazing job as sort of the heroine. Of course, you have many, many other people in here as well. I'm thinking of Margot Kidder here as well, John Saxon. Some really great talent in this one, man. And directed by Bob Clark, who directed A Christmas Story. So he directed a old school classic Christmas movie and a Christmas horror film. Man's got a lot of talent, put it that way, man. So this is definitely one that's well worth revisiting. And then you get, the remake, which came out in 2006, also called Black Christmas. And I have sort of I don't really have a lot of love for that movie, to be honest with you guys. And it's not that I outright hate that movie. But to me, we went down this huge rabbit hole of horror remakes and everything got remade. And why not Black Christmas? And yes, it was still R-rated, and yes, you still got a lot of brutal kills in it. But I felt like they over-explained things. They over-explained Billy. They over-explained the brother-sister dynamic. I felt that the characters, even though there was some that were really cool in the movie, they didn't really connect with me like, the 1974 film really connected with me, guys. And I just thought that that movie was really just honestly a waste of time. It was just a waste of a remake that really didn't need to happen. I know there are some people out there that really do like the film, but for me, honestly, I just never really cared for it. Not really at all, guys. And again, I hate to say it, but it just didn't really do anything for me. Like a lot of these horror remakes really don't do much for me at all, guys. But you know, I thought that when that got made, I thought, okay, that's it. You know, it gets remade. Didn't need to be remade. Fine, done, over with. It's out there in the world. We're never gonna get another one. You know, there's no need for it. And then, and then suddenly I heard that Blumhouse got the rights to Black Christmas, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I, are they really gonna remake Black Christmas again? Is there really even a point? And I was like, okay, maybe they have the rights, but maybe they just have them. They're not really gonna do anything with it. Well, stupid me. Of course they're gonna do something with it, and they ended up putting out a trailer for it. And this was back in September. And I remember seeing so many people who outright were just really groaning about the trailer. And if you guys remember, when I did one of the out and abouts in September, I ended up actually commenting about the trailer. And here's what I had to say about that one. Oh, man, dude. Look, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I get really sick of horror remakes, dude. I really do. Horror remakes, man, God, I just wish they would end at times. And we've already remade Black Christmas once. So we're remaking it again? Like, so now we're doing a remake of a remake? What? Oh, when is this gonna end, man? I will say this much. I thought the trailer was good up until it said Black Christmas. And I'm like, this movie has nothing to do with that. Like, if you watch the trailer for this Black Christmas movie, it really doesn't have anything to connect with to the first original movie or even the remake. Like, it has a killer, it has the sororities, it has all this stuff, but it doesn't really have anything else to connect with it. So it really is kind of ridiculous to me that it's even called Black Christmas. Like, there's nothing here that even remotely resembles the movies that I've seen before, other than there's a killer killing women and that's it. So I'm really kind of like not sure what this is exactly going to be. Is it just going to be a slasher movie, a simple slasher film that just somehow happens to be called Black Christmas? Or is it going to connect with the mental institution, with Billy? Is it going to connect with all that stuff? I really have no idea, guys. I mean, I think the trailer is okay, and for a decent sort of average slasher movie, it could work for a Christmas slasher. But outside of that, I can't see this really working, guys. I really can't, especially as a remake to Black Christmas. And I love that 70s movie. I think that 70s movie is brilliant. The Black Christmas remake itself, not so much. I really thought it was kind of pale comparison. But this seems like it's not even connected at all, really, except for it takes place on Christmas, and there happens to be a killer, and that's it. I mean, there's not much else here, guys. I mean, I like a good slasher movie, but this could really be one of those really just like flat out not good, not even remotely resembling Black Christmas, and not even a really good slasher. It just feels like it's really just sort of out of ideas. And Blumhouse is better than this. I think Blumhouse is way better than this. Blumhouse has made some really great movies. So I'm kind of shocked they're going down this route, guys. But I guess if you have the property, why not make a movie out of it? How does the movie stack up to what my thoughts were on the trailer? Whew. Let's get into it, guys. Let's dive into this because we really need to. Now, this is going to be a spoiler review. I'll be talking about a lot of different spoilers. Maybe not all the spoilers, but I definitely will be talking about some of them. So if you haven't watched Black Christmas yet, come back later after you've watched it and hear the rest of my thoughts. If you don't care, well, let's get on with the review, guys. Now, this movie is about Riley, played by Imogen Poots, and all of her sorority sisters and you know, the thing about Riley is Riley has been having a really tough go of it because, a while back, from what we gather in the story, that she was uh, drugged and raped by this college guy. And, nobody really believed her and nobody really believed what was happening to her. And she's had to deal with that over the course of some time when we finally meet her in the story. Uh, at the same time, there's also, this rivalry going on between this sorority and this fraternity that, this fraternity, they feel like they're very sexist and that they're honoring this basically the founder of the college, and that basically they are worshiping a guy, a founder that basically did not like women, and that there's kind of this back and forth that's going on between these two, one fraternity, one sorority, and kind of the tensions that are going on between them, right? And all the while this is going on, there is a killer on the loose that is killing these sorority women from different sororities, not just the one that Riley is a part of, but various ones as well. So it's about finding out who's doing these killings and trying to survive it and finding out really the mystery behind everything that's going on in this college. Okay, so first, right off the bat, guys, this has nothing to do with Black Christmas. If you're gonna go into this movie thinking to yourself, oh, this is just like the 1974 movie or the 2006 film, dead wrong, guys. This is not even close to even comparing to those because it's not even the same film. Billy, not here. Yes, it has the sorority stuff. Yes, it has some of the fraternity stuff. But outside of that, not really much else, guys. I mean, it really doesn't have any sort of connection to, any sort of mental patient being sort of uh, out of a mental asylum and attacking somebody. It doesn't have really any revelation of a brother-sister connection at all. It really doesn't have really even much of the same kills that you might have seen in, the 74 film or the 2006 film. It's doing its own thing, but it just happens to be called Black Christmas. And that's one of the problems that I really have here, guys, because why give the movie the name of Black Christmas if you're not actually going to do anything somewhat similar? Now, I'm not asking for the same movie because I have the 74 film. I don't want to see the same film. I have this. I can just pop it into my Blu-ray player and watch it. There's really no reason that I need to see the exact same film. But there could have been enough similarities here that maybe it would have been a nice homage to Black Christmas. I just don't see it here, guys. And you know, the other problem that I have here is that the characters are really either they're bland and lifeless and you don't really care for them, or they're just so stupid and ignorant that you just want to end up like literally grabbing them by the shirt or the jacket and just really going at them, because there's moments in this film that you know the director of this film ended up coming out and saying, "Oh, hey, look, we are making a feminist statement with this movie." Okay, fine, great. I like, very strong, tough female characters in movies. If you guys have been a part of the channel and have watched it enough, you guys know that I've said that multiple times. I honestly have. But the problem here is that in order to do that with this film, is that basically they have to tear down the men in this movie in order to send a feminist message. And that's not the right way to do it, guys. And I'm going to say that right off the bat. When you look at characters like, a Ripley, or, you look at stronger females in other movies that you've seen before, you know, the thing about it is that they're not tearing down the men in order to pick themselves up, in order to say that they're strong female characters. They're working with the guys. They are going toe to toe with the guys. They are meeting every expectation that the guys do, and they're rising to the challenge in order to be the better one among the group. They're not knocking these people down in order to suddenly say that they're feminists, and that makes them a powerful female character. That's not a good way to do it, guys. I mean, there's moments in this movie where, for instance, like the sorority sisters, including Riley, there's this sort of singing dance competition, and they end up sort of singing this song, and the guy who apparently raped Riley is there. And so she's kind of a little nervous and she's scared and she doesn't really want to do it. And the girls are sort of picking her up and saying, look, you have to do this. You have to be a part of this. Don't let what this guy did define you. And that's a great thing for them to say. That's great. I like that statement. But then they go and they end up singing this song that basically demeans the fraternity, demeans everything. Well, and you raped me, and you've got a little penis, and blah blah blah, and this, and they do this song, the little song and dance, and they're basically antagonizing the guys. They're antagonizing the whole fraternity here. It's not just the guy that raped Riley. They're demeaning every guy in this movie. Every fraternity, they're doing it. I mean, and then they wonder why these guys want to take revenge on them. I mean, I'm not saying that it's right that these guys are killing the women, and I think that when it comes right down to it, these guys deserve what they get. But, what does it say that you have to antagonize these guys in order to make a statement? You can still be a strong female character, but you don't have to hate on every guy in order to do it. And that's what this film does. And there's moments where there's this other character who, she's a very strong female. She's somebody who believes in these petitions and believes in taking these things down and breaking the male structure. And I get it to a certain extent. I do, guys. But in order to do it, she's literally bashing men at every single opportunity that she gets. What is this, man? I mean, why can't you just be a strong female character? Why can't you just, be this tough chick that can stand her own ground? But why do you have to demean every single person? There's even a lot of the guys in this movie who are good guys. They're good people. And there's females who even knock these guys down as well. And I'm like, I'm a fan of a feminist statement. I'm a fan of strong females. I have a girlfriend who I love and cherish, and she is definitely a feminist woman, but she does not go around bashing men at every single opportunity. She does not do that because she knows not every guy is bad. And this movie immediately goes in and presumes that every guy is a terrible human being, and we have to go against every single one. I mean, there's even a point where the security guard of the college, they even portray the security guard as stupid and incompetent and doesn't care. And I just sat there watching the film and thinking to myself, I know we live in very different times. I know we honestly do. And I know that we're so far away from the 74 version. We're so far away from it, guys. And I get that. I really honestly do. But I mean, the whole idea behind these men killing is that they want to bring the females back to, the 1940s or the 50s when when they were in the kitchen and they were just cooking and they were obeying the men and they were having babies and they were staying home and barefoot and pregnant, and that's what the guys want, and they're gonna do everything they can within their power. And any strong female, they're going to get rid of because we want weak females in our society. And I just sat there, I'm like, is this really what we're putting out there, man? Is this really what we're doing? I mean, whatever happened to the days of not being so overt with the message? Like, with this movie, there is some really great, strong female characters in this movie. And you don't have to play the whole thing of, oh, I want you barefoot and pregnant, and I want you to be, a lower human being than me. This movie had none of that. It still had the strong female message. It still had the women fighting back message, but you didn't need to do that whole, overt, put it in your face message and just splash it all over the screen. You don't need to do that. Sometimes a little subtleness is all you really need, guys. And this movie doesn't do that. And I just really feel bad for this, man. I feel bad for just any, I understand that we want to put out a great message for a lot of young females out there, and I get it, and I 100% support it. But at the end of the day, guys, you don't have to do it like this. Go back to the old films. Go back to Alien. Go back to Aliens. Go back to Black Christmas. Go to a lot of these great female action movies. You don't need these type of movies to just throw it right in your face in order to tell a message. Look at the Friday the 13th movie. You have a survivor girl at the end who kicks Jason's ass. That's all you need. You don't need we're gonna take back society, and the females are gonna take back, and the men are terrible, and the females are great. I just sat there groaning, guys. I sat there groaning so badly, man. I don't know whether you guys did, but I definitely did, man. So let's take that out of the equation, right? Let's take the overt, in-your-face message out of the equation. What about the kills? What about, the gore and the blood? Look, you had the 74 version that was R-rated. You had the 2006 film that was R-rated. So what about that? There's got to be a plus there somewhere, right? There's got to be something there that's positive. And nope. There is no positivity whatsoever, guys. Not a single bit of positivity from this standpoint either. Now, here's the reason why. So, this movie is PG-13. Now, as I've told you guys before in previous out and about videos that I've done, I don't think that PG-13 is as bad as everybody says it is, especially for the horror genre. I feel like you can still do some really creative stuff with PG-13 and still make it brutal and unrelenting, and not necessarily having to show the blood or gore, or if you have to show the blood, you can still show it, but it can still be effective. I think movies like Happy Death Day are still really good. Something like Wish Upon. There is good recent PG-13 horror films to mine that are still really effective and worth watching. So where does this one rank? Not very good, guys. And I'm being honest with you. I'm throwing it out there and being honest because basically, as I told you guys, the fraternity, the founders' fraternity, is attacking these sororities, attacking these strong women, and that's what they're doing. Now, why did they just suddenly start to attack these sorority women? Why did they start to do it? Well, I told you guys earlier that basically they ended up wanting to get rid of this founder's bust that was sort of shown, when they entered the college, and that the founder years ago, had some, not so great views on women, and the sororities wanted that bust gone. So the fraternity took that bust of the founder and ended up putting it in their frat house. And what they found was actually inside the bust itself, it was actually this weird sort of black goo, sort of black substance, almost like the shit you'd find on, the X-Files or something. and there's this black goo that's coming out of the eyes of the bus and the bottom of it, and there was sort of this incantation inside of it, and what that incantation was is basically a doorway into black magic. That's what it was. It was a doorway into black magic, and now they ended up doing this ritual to all of the pledges and to themselves where they are now under the influence of the founder. Now the founder is inside them, and now when these women attack these men and kill the guys that are trying to attack them, they are not being stabbed and you're showing blood. You're actually showing black goo because now, because the founder is inside them, suddenly their blood is replaced with black blood. What? What in the actual fuck? I mean, look, I don't mind PG-13 horror films, and I've defended quite a bit of them. But this is absolute bullshit. So you're telling me that the reason why this is PG-13 is not because they want to do something creative with the PG-13 and actually try to do something that's really cool and creative and clever. They're doing PG-13 so that they could get away with this lame plot about black magic and voodoo and how the guys aren't really under their own thoughts. They're under the thoughts of the founder, and so they're doing this all not in their own conscious mind, in their subconscious. And so, we have a PG-13 excuse now to do something with the plot where we can't even have the guys have their own thoughts of wanting to do this to females. We have to have them under the influence of the founder. And on top of that, that in itself is just an excuse to show off black goo and blood in order to not show off blood so that we don't get an R rating. Because if we get an R rating, nobody will watch this movie. We can't promote it to the widest fucking audience that we possibly can get. Are you kidding me, guys? I mean, just a year ago, or a year and a half ago, 2 years I should say, we had It Chapter 1 become one of the highest rated R movies that made money of all time. It's not about the fucking rating. It's about the story, and if you could have a good story, and if people actually want to go see your fucking movie. It doesn't care about a PG-13 rating. It doesn't care about an R rating. It cares, is the plot good enough? Is the story good enough? Are people actually interested in wanting to go see your fucking movie? That's really the whole thing about it. It's not about, oh my god, we need to do PG-13 because really we need to get all the tweens in there, and the tweens are going to really tell all their friends, and all the other tweens are going to go, and all the girls are going to go, and oh my god, it's going to be a really popular success. No, that's not the reason why, guys. I'm sorry. It's not. It's just because you have a really lame movie and nobody really wants to fucking see it. Doesn't matter R-rated or PG-13. There's many R-rated movies that's failed and there's many PG-13 movies that's failed. It's not about the rating. It's about if you can tell a really good story. And let me just say this about the kills right off the bat, okay? Because the kills, they're very PG-13 lame. They really are. I mean, yes, you don't really get to see much blood, and if you do, it's just a little drop here and there, because Lord knows we can't get that R rating. And not only that, guys, right? But it's like the kills, they're not going for any brutality. You see a killer sort of in the background, and then you see a knife coming up, or you'll see them stepping behind and about to attack, and suddenly that's it. Nothing else comes of it until you actually see a little bit of the aftermath. But the aftermath really isn't much. I mean, I really loved in the 1974 movie the whole thing with the bag over her head, and she's she's gasping for air, and you feel it. You feel that she's gasping. You're like, oh my god, man, Jesus Christ, she's fucking dying. You see that, you feel it. Even with the 2006 film, you feel some of those deaths, even though I'm not a fan of it a lot. This one was just absolutely lame for the sake of being lame, man. It really honestly was. And I was just really just completely... I was just sitting there being like, really? This is what we're getting. I mean, it's bad enough that you're putting this in your face message that for instance you can't have any sort of subtlety whatsoever, but now you have to give us lame PG-13 with black goo blood because you're too afraid of getting an R rating because you want the widest fucking possible audience that you can get. What kind of bullshit is this, man? What possible bullshit is this? And the kills weren't even good, and honestly, nobody in my theater, including myself, was ever sort of wowed by any of the kills. I mean, I know with horror films, we've seen all of the kills constantly. We've seen pretty much everything. But that doesn't mean that you still can't be brutal or shocking. You can still do that, but this movie just didn't achieve that, guys. It failed. I mean, you have the message that's too in your face. You have the PG-13 rating, which really just dumbs this movie down in a big bad way. The characters aren't really effective and they're really bland, stupid at times. Oh, God. I mean, is there anything good that this film can really do? Look, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. This movie should have never been called Black Christmas. I mean, if you were to have called it Pledge Night Massacre, or you know, Christmas College Massacre, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know, man, but I might have been a little bit more forgiving, just a tiny bit. But the fact that you take Black Christmas, you take this such wonderful movie with such great subtlety and context. I mean, Olivia Hussey in here being the supposed young innocent woman, but she's pregnant. She had sex out of wedlock. She's had her issues. You have a really great, funny performance by Margot Kidder. You have a really great crazed killer in Billy. You have all that stuff. There's a lot of really great subtlety in this movie. And even in the 2006 film, I mean, you had great actresses like Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Andrea Martin. A lot of really great people in there. I mean, here you had good actresses. I mean, you had Imogen Poots, which I like Imogen Poots. I think she's actually a really good actress, but here she was really lifeless. She was really bland. There was really nothing to her character at all. And here's the problem with it, from what I found out, is that she actually signed on to this movie without there ever being a script. There was no script for this movie, guys. There was no script at all. And that's really the problem here, man. There's really, they had the name Black Christmas. They had it. And then they said, well, you know what? How about we just start casting people, and then we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out later. We'll figure it out whenever we get a chance to, and that's what we'll do. And that's not the right way to do it. That's not a right way to do a movie, man. And I mean, this movie even has Carrie Elways in it, dude. And I love Carrie Elways. Robin Hood Men in Tights, Princess Bride, Saw. So many really great movies that he's been a part of. Here, he's just playing evil for evil's sake. And it's not even like they're hiding the fact that he's evil. I mean, they pretty much, from the very get-go, pretty much say, hey, look at this guy. Yeah, he's really fucking evil. I mean, they do nothing to really have any suspense or any thrill of anything, man. You're just sitting there really going through the motions of this movie. And that's the problem about it, guys. That really is honestly the issue with this film. I mean, this movie is directed by Sophia Takal. Now, this is her first big major film, I believe, that she's ever really directed. She's an actress. She's done other stuff. And I'm all for strong female directors coming in and really having a message and having a stamp and really putting their sort of signature style on a movie. I'm all for it, guys. But I'm telling you, she wanted to make a feminist movie. And I understand it, and I am all for that, 110%. But the way she went about it is the wrong way to do it. The way that Blumhouse wanted to make this movie PG-13, it's not the way to do it. You need more subtle. You need the brutality. You need to really give me very energetic, lively characters that I can root for, people that I can really invest my time into, and we just don't get any of it. You have lame PG-13, you have a lame story, you have a lame feminist message. You know, they take the Black Christmas name and they just absolutely ruin it with this movie, guys. They really ruin it in a big bad way. The killers are lame. Everything about this is lame. And I'm gonna be honest, you know, there was a guy who watched this movie in the theater with me, and as we were leaving, he actually stopped me and we were talking about the film. And we both agreed that this is such a lame attempt at a horror movie, at a Christmas horror movie. And there are so many great Christmas horror movies at that, guys. There really honestly is. I mean, there's a lot of really great Christmas horror films to really believe in and really, you know, support. And this is just not one of them, guys. I mean, I don't care whether you're a male watching this or I don't care whether you're a female watching it. It doesn't matter. This is just not a good horror film for anybody. There's so many better horror films out there. So many more underrated ones to watch. This is one that's not worth your time, guys. My recommendation is not to watch this movie. I'm going to give it a grade rating of an absolute F. It did nothing that I thought was worth it in any way, shape, or form. Please go and watch the 1974 film. I implore you guys, watch the 74 film because it's so fantastic and it really is worth your time. Just as a piece of 70s sort of horror film history and also a piece of horror history that other films have taken from it. Definitely check this one out. And even, you know, look, I'm not a fan of the 2006 film. I have a lot of issues with that, but I'll even say go and support that film, guys, because that film definitely deserves some love way more than this. And honestly, guys, can we get away from the remakes and the reboots and everything now? Can we honestly get away from that? Because this is really frustrating, man. I want more original horror material. I'm sick of the remakes and the reboots and everything, man. I want something original, dude. You know, I understand that they did kind of that in this movie a little bit, but just taking the Black Christmas name, it's just a really lazy attempt, and it's a lazy effort, and this movie does not deserve to be championed in any way, shape, or form. As a horror movie, as a feminist message, as a great PG-13 film, it doesn't deserve any of it, guys. And honestly, if I celebrated Christmas, I would be very ashamed of this film for sure, guys. Fraternities, sororities. I'm just glad I'm not in college anymore, guys. Let me tell you. And speaking of which, you know, I'm really glad that I'm Jewish because I don't have to deal with any kind of, you know, Christmas rituals or any kind of weird holiday or Christmas killers that's coming for my ass anytime soon. What the fuck? The hell is this? What the hell? What the hell is going on? What the hell is this, man? What? What in the hell is going on? A weird prank or something? Of course, this has to happen to me during the goddamn holidays. You have got to be fucking kidding me. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think of the Black Christmas reboot, remake. What do you think of the first remake? What do you think of the original? Where does this film stack up? And hopefully I'll be back next time for another movie review. In the meantime, I got some business